Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us for this midweek edition of HR Mentorship Learning Series. Tonight, we'll be looking at a very important topic, the difference between HR analytics and HR metrics. Our facilitator for tonight is Dr. Blessing Adebayo, and is the CEO of Dejab Lux Investment Consulting Group. I'd like to just read briefly about his profile so that some of us who may not know him prior to today can get better acquainted with him. First and foremost, I'd like to say that he's a graduate of computer science from the Ekiti State University, Ado-Ekiti. He also has a Master's of Information Technology from National Open University of Nigeria, and he has a doctorate of philosophy in human resources, honors causa, from the Prowers University, Dewal, USA. In addition to this, he has worked in quite a number of organizations, including JMG in Ibadan. He had also worked at various times in various roles with Lambert. He worked as HR specialist, supervisor, generalist, and rose to the role of HR manager. Currently, he is the lead HR generalist with a firm in the UK remotely, and of course is the CEO of Dejab Lux Investment Consult to hand over virtual control of proceedings to Dr. Blessing Adebayo. Over to you, sir.
Good evening, my fellow colleague, my brother, my sister. As rightly said by our facilitator and our host, Dr. Oluyemi Nadeoshun. So I want to appreciate everybody for joining us this evening. And once again, my name is Dr. Adebayo Blessing, the CEO of Dejab Investment Group, Consulting Group. Thank you for having me, and we shall be considering today the difference between HR analytics and HR metrics. HR analytics and HR metrics. So we tend to introduce what do we mean by HR metrics and analytics. In our first slide, in today's, we want to introduce these metrics, and I want all of us to pay a very deal attention to this, most especially the HR practitioners, and those of us that we are not HR practitioners. It's more reliable for us to understand how our artificial intelligence is working based on HR metrics and analytics. So firstly, introduction. In today's ever-changing industry landscape, data is important for making informed decisions instead of institutes one. Data. You know, most of our company today, a lot of people, we don't value data. And I can tell you, as HR professional that understand what we mean by metrics and analytics, you should be able to understand deeply and able to, in making sure that you implement the same thing. So with the rise of HR metrics and analytics, HR professionals now have better access to data that can help them better understand the workforce and drive organizational success to new heights. So it's a very simple analysis. A lot of people, as an accountant, we are talking about manpower, evaluation, the cost of hiring, the engagement, the recruitment cost, the time of recruitment. If you understand what we know about HR metrics and analytics, it's going to give you more knowledge about the way you can implement all those things I've mentioned. shall explore differences and why they are both crucial for effective HR management and in turn, a company and organizational success. So I want you to join me, sit back. I want you to understand the reason why data, let me call it full database, is very important in our day-to-day activities in our organization. So to follow the successful organizational objective and value, if you don't know how to make use of HR metrics or analytics, you have to develop interest in doing this. So I want us to let us dive into the exciting world of HR data analysis. So I welcome you once again. So by so doing, what is HR metrics? What is HR analytics? So we are going to consider the table of content for our webinar training today. Under this content, we have what is HR analytics. 2, become a data-driven leader, HR related with our HR analytics courses. Why do we need HR analytics? What are HR metrics? Why do we need HR metrics? Top 5 HR metrics used by organizations. There are many, not only just top 5. We have more than 100 HR metrics every HR manager needs to know. So under this, before I proceed to the subtopic, we have a lot of them. We have demographic, organizational culture, productivity, development and training, formal succession planning, leadership, remuneration, engagement, benefits, finance, and HR itself. So, but today, we are going to dive more on the 5 major HR metrics that are used by organizations. After that, we consider what is the difference between HR metrics and analytics. How are HR metrics and HR analytics interconnected? Frequent asked question, and from there we take some question and answer, we have conclusion. So let's start. Thank you to follow. What is HR analytics? As you can see from my screen, HR analytics is a powerful analytical tool used by HR professionals. It's today very sympathetic when we have an HR professionals that they cannot really make use of these important tools. HR analytics is like doing a statistic. It's like somebody that studied computer science that is trying to run from mathematics and statistics. So from today, I want to make sure that our mind is fully on HR metrics and analytics. By the time we go back to our different organizations, we'll be able to tell them, we'll be able to explain to them that what exactly do we mean by HR analytical tools. So it is the practice of using data analysis techniques and tools to extract insight and knowledge from HR data to support data-driven decision-making. That is not institutive, the human resource function. Human resources analytics involve collecting, analyzing large set of employee-related data to identify patterns, trends, and correlations that can be used to form HR strategies, policy, and tactics. As we talking about the HR analytics, so we are, so the HR analytics involve collecting, analyzing large employee-related data, as rightly said. So analyzing the last set of employee-related data to identify pattern, trends, and correlation that can be used to form HR strategies, policies, and tactics. So this can be used, and the data on employee performance, workforce, or manpower analysis. Under this place, we can make use of HR metrics in demographics, turnover rate, engagement level, absenteeism, sabbatical, succession planning, and leveraging HR analytics in organization. So by so doing, we should be able to analyze that, okay, what is the purpose of analyzing all this data? Our purpose tonight is to leverage on this analysis based on different organizations that we are working to make data-driven decisions that can optimize the workforce, improve business outcome, and enhance employee experience. So by so doing, the HR analytics give us the details of whatever we have been doing, the turnover, the recruitment, the what you spend based on your recruitment. Everything is just that you are analyzing, so that at the end of the day, your key performance indicator is directly proportional to your HR metrics. What do I mean by that? Your HR metrics and analytics is so powerful to the essence, if a HR professional makes use of this, you can sit back and tell your management, this is the way to, this is the next thing to do. This is the way to go. Going back to the next slide. Why do we need HR analytics? Why do we need this? All right. So what is HR analytics? HR analytics is a powerful analytics tool used by HR professionals. It is the practice of using data analysis techniques and tools to extract insight and knowledge from HR data to support data-driven decision-making that is not included in human resource function. So this analytics involve collecting, organizing, and analyzing larger which that is related to employee data to identify pattern, trend, correlation that can be used to form HR strategy. This also includes the employee performance succession, like I said before earlier on. So, like I said earlier on, what is important to us is the data-driven analysis that we are trying to showcase. Why do we need HR analytics? HR analytics is essential for companies to make informed data-driven decisions regarding their human resource function rather than depending upon institution alone. What do I mean by that? They don't want to depend on whatever anybody is saying. They want to see the analysis. If this analysis is correlating with whatever they have, for example, in hospitality industry, they have what they call a uniform for their staff. This uniform for their staff, how do you distribute it? The food and beverage department, all other departments like the bartending, the operations, the kitchen, and so on. At the end of the day, if you have 75 staff there. After we distribute, and we still have a lot of people to be recruited, we need to analyze what do we need. The total number of so. If we distribute and we still need like 25 manpower to be recruited, what is the total are we expecting? Do we need to get extra? This we analyze. What do we have in stock? What we've distributed? After the distribution, the remaining set of the t-shirt or the uniform. So these are the analysis. A layman can just go to that place and analyze and understand that, okay, this is what I'm doing. This is how to do it. You don't have to call anybody to do your cost-benefit analysis, even after you've done your HR analytics. So, and do we need this HR analytics in different form? Yes, we need it. Even in our home, we need it. So, for example, the HR analyst can provide valuable insight into workforce, including trend, pattern, correlation that can help to identify improvement areas and optimization. Like I said earlier on, if there's anything that you still need to do or to make it available for your staff or employee, you should be able to gather it together. You don't have to be calling your HR every time. Put into your SharePoint, and everybody will have access to it, most especially your line managers. They will be able to understand these are the things needed. Okay, even you can run your pension remittance, HR analytics perform a larger role in your pension remittance. You can analyze in last month, how many employees received a lot, what is the total number of pension remittance we did, how many pension manager do we send our remittance to? A lot of things like that. So by leveraging HR analytics to organization, so organization can they can sit down and understand that, okay, this what we are doing, how do we leverage HR analytics into organization? Number one, if you leverage HR analytics, we improve recruitment and retention planning. 2, we enhance employee performance. 3, we increase efficiency and reduce cost. 4, we align HR strategy with business goals. 5, we optimize workforce planning. Benefit of HR analytics. Benefits of HR analytics. Number 1, improve recruitment and retention. Improve recruitment and retention. HR analytics can help identify the sources of top talent and retention issues, enabling organizations to improve recruitment and retention strategy by curbing turnover rate. By curbing turnover rate, it's like I said before, this HR analytics will help you to identify if your turnover rate is high or low. It's very, very simple. In month A, you know the analysis you've done, what you recruited, what you have in the database, who resigned, who you terminated, who you got from referral, everything you analyze it. At the end of the day, be able to understand, is my turnover rate, is it high or low? But what HR analytics is doing is just to curb the turnover rate. 2, enhance employee performance. Of course, you have some set of marketers or business development managers, give them a target that you have to get to a point of 2 million at the end of the month. The figure, how many people are you bringing to the system? How many projects are you bringing to the system? What is the cost of this project? It's very easy. You don't have to disturb yourself. A layman can understand. Is employee A meet up with the target. That is the first. So it enhances the employee performance because they know that we have to analyze even in our day-to-day activity in finance. HR analytics help us to define cost-benefit analysis. The P&L, it's in today, the P&L, those people doing the P&L can easily make use of HR analytics. In our training, we can make use of it. So where training and development programs are needed, improve welfare amenities and offer competitive compensation specific to the industry. To enhance the overall employee experience, we need HR analytics. Three, optimize workforce planning. HR analytics can provide insight to the workforce demographics and trend patterns and correlation. Every organization forecast future workforce need optimize workforce productivity. 4, HR analysis strategy that we make use of is we use it to set business goal. By using HR analytics to identify the drivers of business success, organizations can align to their HR goal, initiative, drive, and strategize with the overall goal of the organization. Increase efficiency and reduce cost. Yes, it increases efficiency and reduce cost. If you have analysis of whatever you are doing, no procurement manager will tell you when you have 3 laptop system in your store. Nobody with IT, you don't have to even call IT. You go to your SharePoint. How many laptops do we have? We reduce cost. A lot of people, they don't even follow the database for each of the department. So this helps us to reduce cost because we have to analyze everything. So, and this helps us to identify areas where HR process can be streamlined or automated. If for us to use software for attendance system, I told you, some people absenteeism, you have to go and be tracing from the line manager, out of your line people, your team who has done because no, you don't need it. HR analytics help you to do that. So it streamline all this and improve financial metrics like revenue and profit. Your profit and see, let me tell you, it's more important even in finance metrics. In your revenue and profits, it will give you the leverage for you to understand if you are really, your P&L is working. Profit and loss account. If you now push it together, before you know it, you understand that, okay, no, my HR metrics is doing, my HR analytics is doing fantastically well for me. Because of our time, let's move. We have HR metrics as specific measurements used to track and evaluate various aspects of human resource function. HR metrics include employee turnover rate, time to hire, training and development costs, absenteeism, the way I talk, skill gap. Training skill gap and employee engagement levels. So by tracking and analyzing HR metrics, organization can identify areas for improvement and data-driven decision and ensure HR initiative practice and drive and align with their business overall goals. HR metrics are important for organizations to assess, measure, and monitor specific aspects of their human resource function. So, this measure and tracking HR metrics, organizations can identify areas of improvement, make data-driving decisions, and ensure that their HR initiatives are aligned with their overall business goals. Why do we need HR metrics? We need HR metrics for measure performance. We need HR metrics for evaluate effectiveness of HR initiative. We need it in benchmarking, benchmark against industry standard. We also need to identify area for improvement and also need for compliance. These are the way we need HR metrics. Some HR metrics that we need to really consider. Now, measurement performance HR project provide a way to measure and assess the performance of a specific HR process and practice, such as recruitment, training, and employee engagement. 2, identify area of improvement by tracking HR metric. Organization can identify area where they are underperforming and take action to improve their HR initiative. Ensure compliance. Like I said earlier on, if you have your metrics, everything is stable, it is more easier for us to follow us with our compliance. Like I said, in hospitality, in this area, we have a lot of, like food handling, like a Ministry of Environment. If you have your HR metrics in place, when and how they take charge of their exercise. So it makes sure that it is going to improve automatically our compliance. So evaluate the effectiveness of HR initiative. HR metrics provide a way to evaluate the effectiveness of HR initiative and drive social training program, benchmarking against industry standards. HR metrics enable organizations to benchmark their performance against industry standards and best practices, providing insight into how they compare with their peers and competitors. Now, going by this, we have the five commonly used of HR metrics. Number 1, we discussed about time to fill when we want to do recruitment. We discussed employee turnover rate, whether they are terminating, whether you are resigning, whether you are going, you are absconding, everything. We have employee engagement. We have the absenteeism rate, and we have cost per hire. The top 5 HR metrics used by organization, my brother and sisters and my colleague, I don't want us to deceive ourselves. This is very important in our day-to-day activities as an HR professional or non-HR practitioners. It is important for us to study these metrics: time to fill, employee turnover, employee engagement, absenteeism rate, and cost per hire. So, going by this, the HR metrics and HR analytics, if you want to consider them and to compare them to see where we are making sense, if you want to okay, what are the common value they have together? HR metrics and HR analytics are closely intertwined and support each other in the field of human resources. Here are how they interrelated. HR metrics serve as the foundation for HR analytics. HR metrics specific measurement. HR professional track and assess various aspects of HR workforce, such as employee turnover, recruitment effectiveness, training outcome, performance evaluation, and lots more. These metrics provide valuable data points and benchmark to evaluate the current state of HR practices within our organization. HR analytics take this data a step further. When the HR metrics serve as foundational, the foundational route for HR analytics, the HR metrics take this data a step further by analyzing and interpreting the metrics. And I believe you understand. HR analytics, from the word analytics, is analysis. So the HR analysis we just take a further step, analyzing and interpreting HR metrics to uncover meaningful insights. By applying statistical method and data visualization techniques, HR analytics professionals can identify trends, patterns, and correlation within the metric. This deeper analysis allows HR teams to gain valuable insight into the factors influencing HR outcome and make data-driven decisions. In essence, HR metrics provide the raw data, while HR analytics transform that data into actionable insights. HR metrics will just provide you data. Like I said earlier on, the HR metrics will just provide you database. For example, we have leave database, we have recruitment database. This type of database, the HR analytics will just give you, okay, the KPI, the key performance indicator. You are recruiting a contract staff. We know within 1 week you have to recruit. We are recruiting a junior staff, middle level. We know he's going to take off like 2 weeks. If you are recruiting managerial role, we know it's going to take off like a month. The HR analytics will give us the feedback that no, if your HR KPI is not working, you are failed, your HR analytics will help you to transform the data into actionable insight. By leveraging HR analytics, organization can better understand the drivers of their HR metrics, which I believe you understand now. Identify areas of improvement and make strategic decisions to optimize their human capital management practices. So our analytics track the effect of metrics on business performance. How do we go about this? So by so doing, let us now see the way the human resource based on their efficiency, effectiveness, impact, they are interrelated in HR metrics. In efficiency, if you want to categorize it, like you can see it from the screen, HR, human resource management activities and processes. Under efficiencies, we have workforce planning, we have recruitment and selection, we have compensation and benefits, we have industrial relation, training, intermobility, talent management, coaching, succession, organization design. These are the core value chain for HR. What is the HR management outcome? Which is after implementation, the effectiveness. We have employee engagement, we have retention, we have absenteeism, we have sickness, we have the casual leave for whatever you want to do, maternity leave, we have competency levels, we have performance, we have workforce cost, and we have talent metrics. So what is the impact in the organization? So from the efficiency to effectiveness, what is now the impact of the metrics? Number one, the impact will now be, if your employee engagement is sound, you have profit. You can understand the market value. You understand the market share, your turnover rate, productivity, quality, customer satisfaction. But also, the moral value of the metrics are to be designed. Fairness, legitimacy. On this, we use our metrics to knock out we should not harbor all this, the criminality and anything that can affect our market value based on our organizational objective. So the difference between metrics, HR metrics, and HR analytics. What are the difference between HR metrics and analytics? Number one, based on what I answered, the key difference between HR metrics and analytics is the metrics specific measurement used to track and evaluate various aspects of human resource function, while HR analytics is more comprehensive practice that involves the collection, analysis, and interpretation of large sets of HR-related data. So metrics and HR analytics used differently in human resource function. Remember, I've spoken about the human resource function. So the metrics are typically used to assess the performance, efficiency, and effectiveness of HR processes and practices, and to provide insight into workforce strength and pattern. In contrast, HR analytics generate insight and knowledge that can inform strategic decision making in HR functions. Can HR metrics be used as part of HR analytics? Can HR metrics? Remember, I've told you from the beginning that the HR metrics now is a major tools for HR analytics. You are analyzing your metrics. Your metrics is giving you correlation of what you have on ground. As a layman, we should be able to differentiate even without looking at anything. So yes, our HR metric can be used as part of HR analytics. Yes, HR metrics analytics can be integrated. HR metric provides specific data points that can be used in the broader practice of HR analytics. Identify correlation between multiple data points. I hope you understand. So the HR metric provides a specific data point. HR metrics, data point specific, is specified on our data point that can be used in broader the practice of HR analytics to identify correlation between the multiple data points. So the scope of HR analytics compared to HR metrics. Number one, the scope of HR analytics is broader than HR metrics. I told you, HR metric will just give you the feed of God. While HR analytics will broaden it. Tell you, figure A, you've given Department A 2 naira, Department B 3 naira, Department C 4 naira. The HR analytics is broader. It will not analyze. I even do the pie chart for you. If so people is getting this at the end of June 2024, this is what we have in our matrix. So this is giving us a broader analytics that involve the collection analysis of larger set of HR-related data to provide insight and inform strategic decision-making. While HR metrics focus on specific measurement, HR metrics usually measure, used to track and evaluate various aspects of HR function. The turnover, the time of recruitment, the training time, whether it's internal or external training, HR metric will focus on that. But analytics will give you the deeper broader of what you are trying to analyze. So which one is more suitable for strategic decision-making between HR, analytics, and metrics? Like I said, a layman, if at all we are not looking at it, analytics is more suitable for strategic decision-making because this is going to give you a focal measurement to whatever you are looking at. While HR metric provides specific data points, HR metric will just give you a data point, like cost benefit benefit analysis. HR metrics will give you your P&L, profit and loss account. But analysis will give you more strategic decision making. It's just to analyze to you, are you making profit or you are profit or gain? This is HR analytics. It's going to give you if you are making profit or gain. A lot of people that do businesses today, they don't know if who out of these metrics, who is giving me what exactly do I want. HR metric provides specific data point to assess performance and effectiveness. To just give you that. HR analytics can provide a more holistic view of workforce, identify trend and correlation that can inform strategic decision making in HR function. Now, when you study this, you also talk about HR metrics value. So if you talk about the importance of HR metrics, we are talking about employee turnover rate. What is employee turnover rate? Employee turnover rate measures how many employees leave an organization over a given period. Typically, express a percentage of the total workforce. A high turnover rate can become something else with employee retention. It will affect it. If your turnover rate is so high, we know the cause. And this also is going to talk about job satisfaction, other factor, whether you like the job or not. Why a turnover rate may suggest a healthy and engaged workforce. Time to fill. I've said all this before. We're just trying to summarize. So it's HR metric that measures the length of time it takes to fill. Like I told you, we have all those skills. The KPI also help. Key performance indicator. Am I following the time? Maybe 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 month. These are the time to fill. Cost per hire. Cost per hire is a metric that measures the total cost of recruiting and hiring a new employee, including advertising, recruitment fees, referral, other expenses. This metric can help organizations to evaluate the efficiency and cost effectiveness, which I said cost benefit analysis of the recruitment process, and identify area where costs can be reduced. If you know that you are wasting more money for you to advertise, you can go for referral. If you know you are wasting more money on LinkedIn or to subscribe, you can go through agency or outsourcing. These are the way you can reduce it. So absenteeism rate, the absenteeism rate is the measure of the percentage of employees who absent from work on a given date or over a given period of time. High rate of absenteeism is a big problem with employee morale. If no employer will agree or will appreciate when the absenteeism is high. Engagement or workplace culture can be hot. Productivity and organization performance. I'm telling you, because if this rate is on high side, it's going to affect your metrics. Because the importance of your metrics is for you to decide that your absenteeism rate is on low side. But when it is on high side, the employer have to decide how to curtail the problem. Employee engagement. Employee engagement measures how committed and certified employees are with their workforce. And the organization will say, this metric is typically measured through employee survey or other feedback. Some people, they use questionnaire. Feed mechanism can provide valuable insight into areas where organization can improve the HR practices and foster a more engaged and productive workforce. Because of our time, I have less than 8 minutes to go. HR metric analysis are both essential for effective management, but they are different in terms of scope and focus and applications. Organizations have to use integrated approach of HR matrix analytics to effective workforce using this parameter, HR metric versus HR analytics. So we can go through and read that because of our time. Specific HR measurement, track the assets of evaluate. Why? I told you from earlier on, HR analysis broader it. HR focus on identify pattern and trend to use. HR analytics generate insight and knowledge, while HR metrics provide insight into specific HR processes and practice drive and initiative, such as time to hire, and I've said it earlier on. So enable HR professional to monitor the effectiveness and efficiency of HR initiative and identify area of improvement. So these are the difference between the metrics. So in conclusion, HR metrics and HR analytics are both valuable tools for managing and optimizing human resource function of our organization. HR metrics provide specific measurement to evaluate various aspects of HR. Metrics and analytics involve the collection, analysis, and interpretation of large sets of HR-related data to provide insights and inform strategic data-driven decision-making so that it can be based on call data and not intuition. So by using a more integrated approach of both HR metrics and HR analytics, organizations can improve HR recruitment and retention, enhance employment performance, engagement, optimize workforce planning, the rate of turnover absenteeism to push financial metrics like revenue, sales, time to hire, the rate, the what you use for your R&D system, cost benefit analysis, profits for the organization, and this are the analysis. So HR metric analytics have to be used in tandem to gain an in-depth insight into organizational workforce and identify opportunities for improvement. My brother and sister and my professional colleague, the most important core value of HR metrics tonight and HR analytics is for us to develop tandem to gain in-depth insight into organizational workforce and identify opportunity for improvement, implementation. With the right data analysis, organizations can effectively manage their human resource and drive overall business success to greater heights. So in this, before I have my conclusion, so in summary, generally, let me put it to us, for those people maybe they are just joining us. So HR metrics, we have a lot of HR metrics entry that managers need. If you have your pen, you can put it down before we say thank you tonight. Which the HR metric would have AKPIs really recognized for tracking our value is number one. You can put it, like I said earlier on, demographic, organizational culture, productivity, recruitment, internal movement, training and development, performance, succession planning, leadership, remuneration, benefit, engagement, financing, and HR itself. I've designed and I've explained all these demographic indicators. Demographic indicator implies number of employees, middle age, median, gender, diversity, median salary, while organizational structure means performance, a permanent employee, if you are full-time, contract time, part-time, turnover rate, including overall voluntary and involuntary people working with you, retention rate, supervision rate, productivity means absent rate, number of loss of work per day, Bradford factor, a lot average absent during the week. So we talk about recruitment indicator, average cost per hire, average number of days to hire, recruitment quality index, average number of days to fill, etc. Internal movement indicator, which means promotions with internal mobility rate, career path ratio. We talk about training and development indicator. We talk about average number of training and hour of training, performance management indicator. We talk about index average of performance total withdrawn, the report, pay rates different between the high performer and others, succession planning indicator, pipeline utilization, succession planning depth, breadth, strength, and number of days to fill the key position, successful performance, high potential turnover. So these are the, we also talk about leadership and development indicator. So leadership and quality index, remuneration, average pay per rate. So in this, I believe you understand now the difference between HR metrics and HR analytics. So I thank you for having me tonight, and God bless you all. So I want to see if you have a lot of contribution and question for us to answer from our viewer and our listener. Thank you and God bless you. I listen to your question and a contribution. Thank you. Can I have question and contribution before we call it a day? Question and contribution. Question and contribution, please. Let us have a question. Can we please, because I don't know, maybe because of the network, can we have our question and answer? We are still online so that we can call it a day. Some people are raising their hands up and we are trying to engage them.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, sir. How are you?
I'm fine, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much for the presentation. I just need some clarifications from you.
Okay, sir.
First is, what is the difference between data and information and metrics? Are they the same? Data, what is the difference between data, information, and metrics? Are they the same? The second question that I have is with respect to analytics generally. What are the processes that are involved in analytics? Then the third question is, once you have done your analytics, how do you present your metrics to the management? Thank you.
All right. Do we have, if you have anybody else that can answer, but I can put a very good answer to what my powerful brother said, the difference between the data and metrics. Am I right, sir? Data, information, and metrics. Am I right? Hello, sir. Okay. The data provide raw information. This difference between data and metrics. Hello, sir. Can you hear me? Hello, sir. Can you hear me, sir? Notwithstanding, let me answer it. So the data provide raw information, while metrics provide meaningful insight and help track progress towards specific goal. So processing data is the data is unprocessed and structured, whereas metrics are derived from processed and structured data. Data is unprocessed, it's unstructured, but metrics has been processed and derived from processed and structured data. So that is just the difference between them. Very simple difference between them. Hello? Hello, sir. Mr. Francis. Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Mr. Francis.
Yes, I'm there. I can hear you. Can you hear me, please? Hello?
Yes, I'm with you.
All right. Thank you very much. Though I joined late, but for the little one I get, I really appreciate your the insight you give us. But my question is, being understanding the difference between metrics and analytics, I'll get to understand it's a kind of a driving process, bringing data and trying to analyze it for the good of the company, strategically, make some points, trying to know the trends that is happening in the company. So now, a company that does not be using this HR metrics and HR want to implement it, or you want to bring it on board. So how would someone drive this to the understanding for the senior management? That is one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then, can I answer that?
Okay, go ahead.
So your metrics and like I said, your metrics is processed. Your data is not processed. I hope you get it now. So if you want to get all this, you're going to get it done with your management. It's just your strategy, the strategic way of let them understand the meaning and the importance of your metrics. You are doing analysis for something, and the most important for you is the implementation and the result you want to gain from it. For example, your turnover rate. Do you want it to be on high side or lower? Anyone that that is affecting you, you have to design it. So, but for you to communicate this to the management, the value of your data you want to process determine. This determines a lot of metrics and analytics you want to process. So your metrics is most important for you if you have your key performance indicator on ground. Are the company using key performance indicator? Yes or no? If yes, it is more easier for you to make use of your metrics analytics. My brother, I hope you understand what I'm saying. So the best you can do is for you to analyze. For example, let me give you an example. Leaf database. Leaf database, for example. How many leaves are you taking per year? Who is qualified for this? How many days have you using? Have you collected your leave allowance? How many days is remaining? It is more easier for management to decide those people to remain so month. If that month, for example, in hospitality, we know their peak period. Are you telling me that if somebody as a manager, you have like 3 weeks to go, you won't be able to give that manager a 3 weeks leave in that period, in your peak period? Either you buy the leave, or you postpone the leave, or you extend, anywhere, you can even do in such a way to convert it to money as far as possible, that you don't want that manager to go, because your metric is on ground. It's the data you have processed. It's what you know the value. But without this, it might not easy for you. You now be calling your HR, Mr. Man, this employee, how many days do we need? How many leave does he want? How many days is remaining? You don't have to do that. You can even develop, after you develop your metrics, share it to your management SharePoint. Everybody will understand. They will not ask you questions. It gives you more time to do your strategic HR planning. And I hope you understand this. Mr. Francis.
Yeah. I get it.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you very much.
Right, sir. Do you have any other question in the house? Do you have any other question in the house? So we don't have any other further question. I try to answer the question of Mr. Adeyemi. Second question is not clear to me. I've answered the question of Mr. Francis, and I'm trying to get in touch with our host. So thank you for having me today, and I appreciate everybody for participating in this first occasion of webinar, difference between HR metrics and HR analytics. God bless you and have a lovely night rest.